Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, as you all know, as much as I talk about I-16, I also talk about legislation without appropriation. And this legislation is to fund more local election boards on some of our smaller counties that may or may not have the taxing base to afford to add all these additional staff positions in smaller, more rural communities. Elections have become a very costly practice for local county governments. There is no allocation from the state to administer elections for localities. Therefore, whatever this body does is passed down to the local taxpayers in those local jurisdictions to foot the bill. I don't disagree with the concept of moving from a probate court judge that was making about $400 in additional compensation to now 3 to 5 member board with all 3 or 5 of those members having to also be compensated, having to hire an election superintendent now in our much smaller communities. If there are no rural election grants or different things that the state is going to do, because we also passed a bill that says if you are going to go and seek grants, you got to go through the state election board to get those grants. So we're making it increasingly challenging for our much smaller counties to administer elections. And I think that's something that this body should take under consideration greatly, because we've had a surplus several years, but we have not made funding elections through the state budget a priority. And I'm telling you, you cannot legislate if you're not also going to appropriate to look out for our smaller rural communities, because all it takes is for anybody in this body to pass a bill and kick the can down the road. And I would just close with this, Mr. President. You can shear a sheep year after year, but you can only skin him once. With that, I yield away, Mr. President.